Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can all the participants please take your seat? We're about to start. We will start in a few minutes' time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our guest, Datuk Engineer Haji Abdullah and Cik Faiz of MEPMA, Puan Fadila of CIDB, Tuan Haji Shah Rizal, MFM Deputy President, Cik Mazhar, MFM Vice President 1, MFM committee members, participant of this forum. And on behalf of MFM, I, Zainuddin bin Zainal, the committee member of MFM, would like to welcome you. I'll be the MC for the event, hopefully a good moderator for the forum. It is a two-in-one event today, starting with the forum, and then all the participants who are attending in person are invited to attend our Jamuan Hari Raya at level 6. The event today is held in conjunction with the World FM Day, which is being held worldwide today, 10th of May 2023. The theme of World FM this year is making a real difference. Our chief panelist, Tuan Haji Shah, will be elaborating further on the World FM Day in his opening remarks. It is a hybrid event where I have been informed that 97 participants have registered to attend with 48 participants attending in person and 49 attending virtually. We thank all of you for setting aside your time for this event. This event today was just promoted for a week, and the response has been overwhelming. It must be due to the theme of the forum, i.e., current and future trends of FM industry in Malaysia in making a difference for all the stakeholders. Most economies have opened after the lockdown worldwide during the pandemic. The war in Ukraine does not seem to end, and the talk of de-dollarization is gaining momentum. Inflation is in the upswing in almost all countries. Closer to home, while all nations are hoping for a stable political environment, it has been very unsettling with the constant talk of unseating the current government. Digitalization is pervasive in every aspect of our lives, and ChatGPT and AI has been buzzwords since the beginning of 2023. With all this current phenomena as a backdrop, it's about time we in the FM industry take stock and start strategizing proactively to ride the wave and build our business progressively. Hence the theme of the forum today. I'd like to call upon all the panelists to take their seats on the stage. To deliberate in depth for today's forum, we have our chief panelist, Tuan Haji Shahrizal, MFM Deputy President and non-independent, non-executive director of GFM Services Sdn Bhd. Tuan Haji Shah has been the founding member of Facilities Management since its inception in the year 2000 and was pivotal in growing GFM to its current stature of being public listed companies. Tuan Haji Shahrizal has also contributed immensely in the development of FM industry, both as a subject matter expert to regulatory agencies, namely KKR, JKR, CIDB, and DSM. His noteworthy contributions were the development of Government Asset Management Manual and Policy in 2009, being part of the Secretariat for National Asset and Facility Management Convention in 2007, 2009, and 2018. He was a member of ISO Technical Committee 267 Facility Management in providing inputs toward the development of ISO 41001 Facility Management, which was published in 2018. Due to his vast experience and his passion in FM, he is much sought after in the academic world. Amongst the positions he has been appointed are part of the Industry Advisory Committee for UTHM, Polytechnic Sultan Abdul Aziz, external assessor for the Masters in FM program, University Malaya. He was also pivotal in the revitalization of FM in 2008, when he was a three-term secretary from 2009 to 2014. After taking a short break, he returned back to MFM as Deputy President in 2018, which he will continue to have until 2025. He holds a Master's in Master of Science in Facility Management and Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from University Technology Malaya, Secretariat Member of Board of Engineers, and Certified Members of Institute of Workplace and Facility Management UK. He had also attended Asian Senior Management Development Program organized by Alumni Club Malaysia, Harvard Business School class of 2009. Please bear with me with all the introduction, a bit lengthy. Our next panelist is Professor Surveyor Dr. Maimunah Sapri. Her area of expertise is the property economics and asset facility management. She currently chairs the Asset Management Division of the Deputy VC Development Office in UTM. Besides lecturing undergraduate and postgraduate students at the Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying, she also supervises and is an internal and external examiner for PhD and master students in her area of expertise. She is much sought after speaker and presenter in both local and international conferences and seminars, winning the Best Presenter Award in 2018 at the 4th International Conference of Sustainability Initiative, Case Studies in Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia. She is also frequently invited to provide her expertise by regulatory agencies like KKR and local authorities. She has either led or co-led funded projects and research for local authorities. She has also voluntarily assisted professional bodies like MAFM and MAPMA in their endeavor to enhance the asset and facility management industry. Professor Surveyor Dr. Maimunah also authored, co-authored and edited numerous articles in both local and international publications. She has 994 citations to date. Our third panelist is none other than Encik Ahmad Sharanon bin Haji Muhammad Sharani. He is a highly skilled professional with over 27 years of experience in the field of ICT development in Malaysia. He holds a diploma in land surveying from University of Technology Malaysia. He has been accredited by Malaysian Qualification Agency MQA with the accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning APLT7 in Information Management Ahmad Shahranon is pursuing a double master degree in engineering business management from UTM and MBA from Meiji University in Japan. As an industrial lecturer at the Faculty of Built Environment at the University of Malaya, Ahmad Shahranon has delivered several successful lectures on BIM, digital facilities management at universities in Malaysia, Indonesia, and the United Kingdom. He has also advised various government entities and regional commercial businesses on his experience in the field. Ahmad Shahranon's vision and ideas have significantly impacted the organization by extending their enterprise resource planning experience with information and sharing that connects strategic missions with personnel, real estate, and facility operation. Our final panelist is Surveyor Al-Jufri Muhammad Arifin. Al-Jufri has been a manager with CIDB since 2015. He started his career as quantity surveyor, and his career progression has always involved various aspects of built environment, including facility management. He has also served the previous Minister of Works as Perdana Fellow. His work related to asset and facility management was when he was a verifier for FM service delivered at the complex Perdana Putra. Currently, MFM work very closely with Surveyor Al-Jufri as he now heads the contractor and levy sector of the Contractor Development Division of CIDB. Okay, we shall start. Prior which I would like to talk about the rules of the forum. Each panelist to be given 10 to 15 minutes to present the topic given to them. Participants of attending in person or virtually are encouraged to ask questions at the end of each panelist's presentation. 1 or 2 questions will be answered, and we will move on to the next panelist. After the presentation for the last panelist, more time will be allotted for Q&A. We'll start the forum by inviting Tuan Haji Shahrizal to give his opening remark and to give his view on the topics Malaysia's journey and MFM role in increasing the value of facility managers within organization. With that, I call upon Tuan Haji.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah sadri wa yasri amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. A very good morning. Thank you Haji Zainuddin for the introduction. Before I start, on behalf of MFM, I was given a task by our Datuk Sri President, Datuk Sri Zohari. He couldn't make it for the event today this morning, so he asked me to cover. So I told him I will cover not only the opening speech but also the lunch, so that I can get 2 portions. Immediately he said, no, I will come for lunch. All right. So a brief welcome to members as well as non-members. For those who are here today with us, thank you for making time to attend this our first event for the year. And for those who attended the virtual session, this is the first time that we are having a session virtual, free for all. So I think there will be more to come. The idea and the plan is actually to have more people to subscribe to become a member. Yeah, so that eventually later part we will have we are in the planning of upgrading our portal and to have more engagement session with our members to get feedbacks and to get involvement from the members to contribute mainly in the area of submitting papers, articles of your experience, of your work, or things that you want to express yourself that can become something that is a point of reference. So it is because MFM plan, or rather in our objective, is that we are supposed to be the center of reference for facility management locally in Malaysia, and we hope to do the same to be a center of reference globally. Yeah. So I would like to welcome Yang Bahagia Datuk Abdullah our brother and sister association from MAKMA, Malaysian Asset and Project Management Association. I would like to also address the three speakers that we have here today. Professor Dr. Surveyor Dr. Maimuna, Cik Ahmad Syaranon, my colleague and business friend. We have been together in the association. He was also a secretary before MFM. And then Cik Al Jufri, key man, important man in CIDB, looking after the development of facility management, asset and facility management. So thank you for your time and your contribution to participate in our program today. So let's get into business. Can I have the next slide, please? Right. So what is this World FM Day? World FM Day, it's about an event to celebrate, to celebrate the work hard that has been shown or delivered by facility managers around the world. This is an effort by an entity known Global FM. It is an association for facility management association around the world. Unfortunately, MAFM at the moment is not a member, because to become a member, we have to qualify ourselves. One of which we cannot qualify is that the fee is too expensive for us to become a member at the moment. Yeah. But in the future, hopefully we can be a member. There are, last I checked, about 9 facility management association, a member of Global FM, but mainly they are in the Europe and United States, yeah, and also the Middle East. So we are not yet a member, but we celebrate World FM Day together as a member of a facility management society around the world. Next slide, please. So there are a couple of things in the objective why it is being founded. Yeah. So World FM Day is to enable facility managers, yeah, to celebrate their success, showcase what they do in and for their respective organizations, clients, and wider stakeholders group. Yeah. Recognize facility managers' effort, outcomes, and outputs amongst the stakeholder groups. And last but not least, to provide the opportunity and platform for facility management to promote the often invisible facility management efforts that are not necessarily recognized. Yeah, so those are the 4 key reasons and also objectives of having to celebrate this facility management day. Yeah, it always fall on the second Wednesday of the month of May every year. So it is not the same day as today, but it's the same, it's not the same date as today, but it's the same day of today. Yeah, every year when May comes, the second week Friday, Wednesday is always the day. Yeah. So we actually in MAFM, yeah, we celebrate this event almost every year. But a couple of years back, we have been a little bit sidetracked because of COVID. So we have not actually focused on it. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah. Moving on. So I would like to just give a short update on Facility Management Association Malaysia. Yeah. Or we are known as a Malaysian Association of Facility Management, MAFM. We had been established for the last 18 years, dated 25th January 2005. Currently, we have a total of 118 members. The number of members has been up and down over the years. At peak, we had registered up to almost 400 plus members, 468 if I can still remember. Yeah, but due to COVID and people not remembering the date for renewal of membership, then the numbers keep on changing over the time. Yeah. We are affiliated to 2 associations. One is the Malaysian Service Provider Confederation. It is a confederation of service providers And our president is one of the main committee member of MSPC. And we are also affiliated with our brother and sister, Malaysian Asset and Project Management Association, where we have our MOU, and we conduct or organize events together. Namely, the one that we did was in 2021, yeah, the Asset and Facility Management Conference in 2021. Maybe some of you did attended that session. So our association is currently led by Yang Bahagia Datuk Seri Zuhari Yaakob as our president, myself as deputy. We had our engagement at next slide, please. Next. We had our engagement at various level, namely our point of contact has always been with the Ministry of Works. Yeah. So this is the last event that we had in 2018, 2019, where we met with the minister, and we are currently we have also engaged at various level, KSU and also the Ketua Pengarah Kerja Raya as well as CIDB. Yeah. Moving on. Our vision is to be an international center of reference for facility management excellence. The mission, how we're going to do it, is to raise awareness. That is through this kind of session that we have today, promote standards and cultivate professionalism for facility management industry. So that is always been our mission, and our vision is to be the center of reference for FM internationally. Our objectives, there are only three. We are here to strengthen the facility management industry in Malaysia, to promote the development of knowledge and best practices. And the third one is to foster economic growth through professionalism. Yeah. So with the three objectives, we have already year on year, we have plans. We put forth plans and engagement with various agencies, government agencies, even the private sectors, to meet to our three objectives that has been outlined. Next. As I mentioned just now, World FM Day first was introduced in 2011. So we celebrated the first World FM Day in 2011. Back then, our chairman or president was Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Jamilus Hussein. Yeah? So these are among the committee organizing the session or programs. Yeah? Okay, next. We have a list of our committee that was elected last month. As I mentioned, President is Yang Bahagia Datuk Seri Zuhari, myself as the deputy. We have Technologies Mazda as our VP1. VP2, Surveyor Dr. Sarajul. I'm not sure whether he's here or online, but I suppose he's online today. Cik Tamil Wanan, our key man, who has been running around organizing events and assisting the association to move with its activities. And then we have Deputy Secretary Dr. Shaharani. He's a director of SRS Knowledge Fusion Sdn Bhd, and the treasurer Cik Muhammad Farihan. He's seated at the back at the moment. Yeah, he's supposed to be the chairman today, but I think he has handed it over to Haji Zainuddin. Okay, unfortunately, I do not have the recent photo when we did our election of the office bearer last month. But this is the previous committee, but most of them are all there. Yeah, most of those who are in the committee today are also present in the 2019 committee members. Yeah. All right, moving on. Our journey for the last 18 years. It has been a wonderful, great 18 years journey for MAFM. The association was formed in 2005 by a group of researchers from UTHM. Myself and Cik Maza were the two representatives of industry back then in the committee. Yeah. And then we made our association our first appearance in NAFAM 2007. And then in 2009, we were given the opportunity to be part of the committee, organizing committee. Myself and Dr. Arwah, Dr. Hakim, Abdul Hakim, we presented our first international FM paper at the Universitas Bung Hatta, Padang, Indonesia, representing MFM. Of course, there are many things that has happened, but these are only those key ones that I'm highlighting here today. So 2011, we started our collaboration with CIDB. We organized together with CIDB the International Seminar on Asset and Facility Management. Moving on, 2013, we participated together with Matrade in the FM Expo in Saudi Arabia. And we are also appointed as a committee member in the development of ISO standard for FM back in 2013. And 2014, we had our first ever facility management Asia conference that is a product of MAFM. And we are also a council member of the MSPC in 2014. 2015, we have been approached by Polytechnic Shah Alam. They wanted to have a diploma and degree courses related to FM, and we are the industry expert advisor for them to craft their syllabus to be submitted to the ministry for approval. Next. So just to highlight, this is the first FM Asia conference that we organized in 2014. Okay, moving on. Next slide, please. Okay. In 2016, we have been appointed as the chairman of the development of ISO standard. 2017, we were together with CIDB as an advisor, technical advisor for the establishment of FM contractors registration requirements. 2018, we developed the training module for development of FM contractors and personnel for CIDB. And again, 2018, we've been appointed as the second NAFAM convention as a committee member for this second time NAFAM convention. 2019, we signed the first MOU with MACMA. This is when we decided to work together with MACMA on and collaborate on research area as well as platform for us to share knowledge. And in 2020, we've been invited by CIDB and UTM to look into the development of master's program in collaboration with UTM Space. And in 2021, we organized the first AFMC, Asia Asset and Facility Management Conference together with MACMA. And 2022, we have our first cohort of master's program participants graduated from this particular university where we are in today. And in 2023, in our recent AGM, we launched our updated logo, rebranding of MFM. All right, so this is our involvement with CIDB. Next, as I mentioned just now, we launched our Facility Management Master's Program, and then we organized the FMC, and last but not least, we have the first group of students graduating from the Master's Program. All right. Next, let's look into the current trends of FM. So this is a topic that I believe our next speakers will be talking about. In general, I will just touch the surface of the trends. There are 6 trends that has been identified that will be looking into more serious development in the moving forward away from pandemic that we are in the endemic. It will be focus will be more on the ESG, that is the environmental, social, and governance. And then the focus for facility managers will be looking into more into IoT and connected devices and cloud-based data, data mining, and data analytics. And then we'll be moving away from conventional corrective maintenance. We'll be focusing more on preventive and predictive, where we have preventive looking into life cycle, managing life cycle replacement, managing cost related to life cycle, as well as predictive maintenance, where we talk to the machine. We don't talk to the people. We get feedback direct from the machine as to establish the health of the machine, so that we are able to plan for maintenance prior to breakdown. Yeah. So these are the main focus, the first three. And then the next that has been, these are trends have been derived from a research, and the research is done in the European countries at the moment. Malaysia, we do not have any particular body to do this kind of research, but subsequent slide, I will share some of the findings that MAFM has done our own internal research. Next, in the slide, bottom left, is the employee health and wellness. We are no longer looking at the health of the building, but the effect of what we put in the effort to maintain the building to the user, the people who occupies the space, who are mainly what we call is a workplace lah. Yeah, so the workplace effect to the human. So we are looking. The facility managers are also looking at to the extent of employees' health and wellness. Next to it, in the middle, bottom middle, facility managers have been asked by organization or asset owner to look into ways and means to reduce costs, mainly on the energy cost. Yeah. So energy comes in many ways: electricity, water, energy, and electricity and gas. So these are two energy that requires, it's a fossil fuel. Now we are moving away from fossil fuel to solar and harvesting energy from wind and things like similar to that. Yeah. So unfortunately, at the moment in Malaysia, we do not have solar, wind turbines. Yeah, we do not have a wind turbine. But I think there is always an opportunity to look into that matter. And last but not least, how do we manage our assets today? Not only using maintenance management system, but also how do you look at it to be more effective, in the sense that we use it on the mobile. Yeah, so mobile first building operations is one of the other aspect of not maintenance, but operating the asset, the physical assets. At the last, my last slides, I will bring the audience to share with how this is being implemented, the mobile first building. There is a video to this. So just bear with me at the moment. Okay, next slide is the future trend in the Malaysian FM industry. So we have done our internal study. Mainly, I mean, the rest, user focus, collaboration, smart workplace, technology development, sustainable building practice, service innovation, and technology adoptions are all similar, almost similar to what you can find in the rest of the other world, the rest of the world. Yeah? But economic growth in Malaysia is the driver for the development of facility management in our country. At the moment, based on the information that we obtain from mass media, that the CAGR, cumulative annual growth rate for this industry is at 5%. Yeah, between the period of 2021, and we expect it all the way up to 2028. This is important because without economic growth to propel the development of the facility management industry, then it's very difficult for us to deliver or to focus on the rest of the other boxes. Yeah, so this is something that I think it's worth the time and effort to look into the matter. And perhaps maybe we have representative from the universities today here participating in the event. You might want to spend a little bit more time to look into the economic growth sector and see how this can be a driver to the development of the industry, because we are lacking in that area of research at the moment. Moving on. Yeah, so that's a 5% driver. Local issues. Now, in order for us to understand what are the issues that we are facing today, we need to understand how the evolution of this FM. So in 1990, it started off with the service bundling. And then in 1990, service integration, we have gone through that phase. 2000, total facility management, where we talk about energy performance contracting, IT services as part of the scope of work and PPP, PFI. And then 2010, again, we go back into service integration, where now we look into more value-driven design of service contracts and regional or global contract as part of the way and means to engage service providers. We put emphasis on waste management, energy to waste to energy. Is one of the effort that took place in 2010 until 2020. And then there has always been also a business process outsourcing. Yeah. And in 2020, we have been looking into more a comprehensive solution where we look into complete workplace management. Here, we've been introduced to IR 4.0, coming 5.0, where technology plays a role in the day-to-day life of our service deliverables. Yeah. So managing intelligent building is already has landed onshore. And then workplace change management and sustainable workspace, as well as environmental performance. And this will go on still. Yeah. Though 2020, we had our pause of life until 2021 because due to COVID. But post-COVID has already given us the opportunity to restart. But the issue or the challenge that we're facing is that how do we restart? Are we going back to where we were before, or are we starting something new? With it will come new challenges and new issues. Yeah. So my point of view here is that, as I was talking to Dr. Abdullah just now, we are restarting the old way with the new, the old things that we do with the new way of doing it. So it is something more complex than before. For example, before COVID, we do not have that much of work from home. Now, work from home is still an option to organization. So how do we manage that work from home environment post-COVID? Yeah, because we do have people attending meetings, but when we ask question, there's no answer. The answer will come like 5 minutes late. So how this work from home effective or not during this period of endemic? During pandemic, yes, I think we are all very attentive to work from home. But as I was also talking to Dr. Naim just now, he said studying from home also is another challenge. The same thing, you know, we are not sure whether the students are there. The connection is there, but physically whether they are attending to it, the mind is there or not is also another issue. So this is what I meant. We go back to the old way, but there will be new challenges that comes along with it. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. So post 2020, there will be new things for facility managers. We might not be focusing more on building maintenance. We are more looking into the infrastructure maintenance probably. Yeah, infrastructure that provides that platform for people to work. Because if work from home is still an option, why do we need more workspace? So the workspace regime might be shrinking. Kan? Lesser space to maintain, and facility manager will have to work in a different way of doing things at the moment, at that point in time. Yeah? So in 2018, during the NAFAM conference, The outcome of the NAFAM convention discussion and also recent media reports during the period of 2019 until 2022, MFM did some research and also identification of issues and challenges. Issues are small problems that can be resolved. And upon resolution of the problem, it will give a better outcome. Challenges, it's a bit more difficult where we try to find a solution, but there is always a pushback. Yeah. So in the list, generally they are all issues, but in that list, yeah, there are two challenges that requires more effort. That is the government policy, change of government policy, procedures and processes, and the last point, which is unhealthy bidding in the public sector, open tender. Yeah, so generally there are 5 issues. In our Malaysian market, we have a standard practice issue, which has been resolved by the introduction of the ISO 41000. Yeah, there are 5-7 series altogether. And then we have the competency gap, which is, I think, addressed by our panelists today, Al-Jufri, on the development of qualified personnel. And then, of course, government policy, MFM and MACMA, we are working together to assist government on this particular segment to work into looking into how to improve the procurement policy, procedure and processes that we have today. Industry development program, again, that goes back to CIDB. And the last but not least, the bidding, unhealthy building. This is where we have too many bidders for one particular contract, in which the bidders are not all having the same capability and capacity to deliver. Yeah, so in the end, once it's been awarded, then there will be a repercussion from that particular exercise. So how do we do a filtration or selection to the right qualified bidder? So these are the issues and challenges that has been identified, which are currently being taken up by various parties to resolve. And MFM has always been a party to get ourselves involved in all these aspects of development. Moving on. Now, let's. I want to share here before my. This is my last slide. What is being done? The autonomous building of the future by Zeeman, where the technology actually takes over a key functions of the human decision-making process, and it helps the facility managers to be more effective in the deliverables, in their deliverables. Yeah. So let's go through the presentation.
We spend 90% of our lives in buildings. Shouldn't they be perfect places to live, learn, heal, grow, or innovate? Buildings can be smart, like driverless cars, planes that fly themselves, or our smartphones that control home lighting, heating, and security systems. But will a building continually run analytics to detect equipment failures before they happen? Or anticipate security needs based on trends and predictive movements of its occupants? Or create smart spaces where shades adjust when the sun is shining directly in the windows? Today, buildings produce thousands upon thousands of data points each day, which literally creates a pool full of data. But in fact, the most important and useful data would fill only a cup. Just have to know which cup is most important. Tomorrow's buildings will be autonomous. They will always be learning, always be awake 24/7. Days, nights, holidays, and weekends. They will continuously adjust based on the current environment and requirements. And autonomous buildings will let your occupants focus on what they are passionate about. Just watch what your building might uncover using deep machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Interesting. The power this van is using seems a little high. We may be using electricity we don't need. Confirmed. The power consumption has been increasing steadily recently. Checking the environment. The supply temperature and static pressure are within acceptable range of set point. Fan output is at 76%. All appears to be normal, but the fan output is definitely higher than usual. Checking service records. 10 months ago, the fan belt was tightened. Here is the part number and life expectancy. I see it was last replaced 5.5 years ago and have identified the runtime of the air handler. Based on this intelligence, the belt has exceeded the normal runtime and is probably slipping. This is serious. The fan is in one of our most critical building spaces, and any downtime will cost us much more than the price of the belt. There is not a belt in our inventory. Ordering replacement. And I have notified our facility engineering department with all the necessary intelligence.
As you can see, autonomous buildings learn, and the more they learn, the more autonomous they become, changing from strictly a cost to an asset. This will allow building owners and their staff to spend less time and resources running buildings and more time on what's important, the occupants. Siemens can help you create the perfect place.
Good night.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.
Right. So I think we are not there yet. I'm not too sure whether there are buildings available in Malaysia to that extent, but it will soon be landing to the shore of Malaysia because Siemens is here. So I'm not promoting, but what I'm trying to say is that facility managers must be aware that this is coming, and how do we position ourselves in that situation. Yeah. We have autonomous robots delivering our teh tarik at the mamak shop. We have seen autonomous robots in the cleaning industry, interior as well as exterior duct cleaning using robots has been in the market for the last 15 years ago. Robotics vacuum, home use, now it's available. Yeah. So we will be seeing more of this to come, and we have to get ourselves ready. So okay, my last slide here is just to share with the audience today that we have a couple of initiatives. Now we are at bullet number 4. There are many other things that we have planned for 2023 until 2025. So I would like to promote MFM, membership, yeah, for you to sign up to become our members, so that we can have more people to work with us, so that we can organize many things, not only seminar and conferences, but we're thinking of even going for visits, yeah, inside, locally as well as overseas. But we need to have more people to be part of us. So I think with that, I thank you for your kind attention, and I would like to open for a question. Thank you. Two questions. Two questions. Okay, only 2 questions at the moment. Then the rest will be given. We will open again at the end. Any question? Question for opinion. Speakers cannot ask. Okay, you have any question? Possible. Okay. Boleh. No.
Okay, thank you. So my questions actually is regards to your statements on these futures of FM. Okay, within this our current economic situations, with the current conditions of budgeting, okay, how MAFM foresee the contributions of facilities management in regards to achieve our economics challenges? Thank you.
Okay, this is not the view of MFM, it's a view of myself as a practitioner, as well as people who has engaged with various agencies. Now, there is always a challenge when you build something, physical asset, infrastructure, buildings, yeah, workplace like this. The key consideration is that not the building. It should be, can I afford it? That's the first question. How much money you have in the pocket? Because to build it may take 300 million for a university campus, for instance, yeah. But to maintain it for the next 20 years, it will cost 5 times of that. So whether you want to put that cost of maintenance, in the UK, they have done a study, it's a 5% of the total development cost is the maintenance cost. Yeah, maintenance excluding the running cost. Running cost is the electricity, water, gas. That is another issue because it depends on the user. The more user you put in, the higher that particular cost. So that is a variable cost. The fixed cost is the maintenance cost. And there is also another cost that is the life cycle cost, which are not normally in the government sector being taken into consideration. So once it's been developed 300 million, then off you go to the ministry to maintain it. So this is the issue. So we have been talking to JKR, policy has changed. Yeah, I think Datuk La was there when we did this. We discussed about having the FM input during the development stage. So I think it has become some form of policy for a certain threshold project cost. There must be an element of FM intervention at the beginning stage before even it is erected or before it is being constructed. So this is one of the things that we have to bear in mind. Now, what we don't plan is COVID. Here comes COVID, disrupt everything, every other thing. So when the running a government is also, I mean, there is also another way of doing it. The first budget that they will cut is the maintenance to be given to the recovery of the COVID, yeah, because that is the easiest, I suppose, because you are not using the building. Okay, the running cost is lesser. Then we take that budget and put it to COVID. But what we are forgetting is that when you want to restart the building, which has been vacant for many months, it's also another cost. So there is always this issue or understanding of the situation. How do we actually plan ourselves for development? This is another level of thinking, strategic thinking and planning that we have to learn. We learn from COVID a lot. Yeah. Hopefully moving forward, when we want to build something, let's see whether if a scenario that comes about similar to this, whether are we able to resolve it or not financially. Yeah, so this is always a challenge. But again, as I said, this is a self-taught situation, but it needs to be discussed in a bigger group so that we can have some form of solution to the matter when it arrives. But some 50% of the thinking and also the action has been taken up. That is to have facility management input at the beginning stage of the design. Then it will resolve the maintenance issue. Because I was in Dubai attending a seminar. There is a question that was in 2008, I remember. There is a question by the audience to the speaker. The speaker was the managing director of the tallest tower in the world, Burj Khalifa. We do not know how many stories exactly. It's about more than 100 stories lah. So the question was, he started with a statement saying it's good to have this building. How much it costs you to maintain it? The speaker cannot answer because they never thought about it right from day one. So if they were to really do a deep thinking about it, it might not have been built. Because the cost of running cost is just too high. But of course, because of, I mean, they have their means to support the project as well as the running cost of the building, they did it anyway. So likewise, in Malaysia, do we want to spend our money in that mode? Do we have the resources? So we have to think about it, you know. So there's always a solution to the current problem. Buy and lease back is a solution. You sell it to the private sector and government lease it back. So when asset that the government cannot still need, but they do not have the means to maintain it, sell it to the private sector, let the private sector upgrade, update, and lease it back to the government. When they sell, they get tons of money, liquidate the lock in the asset, the fund, and then you government can spend leasing. You get an updated and upgraded building. I've been talking about this in many forums, but there is always that pushback, the government policy, whether we want to do this or not to do this. Well, this is recorded, right? So let's play again in the YouTube many times and see if somebody picks it up. Because this is a strategy being done in the UK. Building school for the future. You can Google and find out. Building school for the future. How do they upgrade and update the dilapidated schools to comply with the Y2K, remember? Y2K. So there is a story there. We can learn from that. Okay, thank you. Okay. Since the answer was too long, so it's only one question. Thank you very much. I pass it back to Haji Zainuddin.
Terima kasih Tuan Shah, Tuan Syah. Our next panelist is Professor Surveyor Dr. Maimunah. We invite her to give her presentation on the trends of FM sustainability, resilience, and corporate responsibility.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. We are still morning, yeah, Isha? Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Actually, I just would like to send my thank you to MEFM for inviting me to participate for today's FM World Day. Okay. After so many years, I talked to Mr. Tamil, okay, why not? After so many years, I left MEFM behind, being very busy with FM, all right? So why not today I make a comeback? Tak tahulah kan, sama ada comeback tu ditunggu-tunggu ke macam tak ada apa-apa pun, right? But somehow, as FM actually is my heart and my soul, because in years 2000, okay, actually I'm the one, the first batch of Masters in Facilities Management offered by University Technology Malaysia. And during those days, within the Asians, okay, only University UTM is the university that offers Masters in Facilities Management. So after 23 years, so being in the facilities management knowledge, not industries, knowledge, yeah. So I can see that there is a rapid change and very vibrant growth of the importance of facilities management. So today, as requested by MEFM, I would explain, not really giving a lecture, but just to give an insight of what exactly the trends in facilities management, yeah, as well as they give me 3 big topics, okay, to explain: sustainability, resilient, and corporate responsibilities. Just chat with Encik Isha. When we talk about corporate responsibilities, we mentioned about fees, kan? Right? But it's not fees, sabilillah. Sometimes to become a facilities manager, you have to be a little bit jovial, because dealing with facilities management, as my experience in UTM, you required a very hard work as well as very strong mental and physical. Okay, as a woman in the industries, I thought it's only women at the stage. I think the challenge has become more and more. All right. So that's basically, so based on the topic that given to me, I think that it's good for me to really integrate how the terms sustainability, resilience, and corporate responsibilities should be viewed within the strategic level, that how facilities managers should thinking on it. Okay, because I'm not an expert within the operationals as like our speakers, the rest of speakers, and of course, members in the floor. But at least within this strategics or tactical of thinking in an FM, I believe that it may help in the operations of these facilities management service delivery. Yeah. Next, please. Okay, so this is basically the topic. Next, please. Okay, the Tri in FM, sustainabilities, resilience, and corporate responsibility. So within this morning, within the 15 minutes given, okay, the agenda is quite big, but I will make it short. Okay, so next, please. Okay, I'm giving you these fundamentals of sustainable facilities management. Before I go further on details, right? So when we talk about facilities management and when we talk about the trend in FM, so when we, as a researcher in facilities management, we identify actually 8 trends, okay, in FM. Okay, being explained by Encik Shah, we have 6, right? But 6 and 8 is about the same, can plus minus 2. But the most important things is that what exactly are the content or the trend that give a challenge to facilities management to deal with it, okay, within the sustainable resilience and corporate responsibilities. Okay, so we're back to the principles of sustainable facilities management. Yeah. Okay. As the fundamentals of facilities management, people talk always about sustainables or sustainability. In fact, the word of sustainable and sustainability become rhetoric, right? This is sustainable development. This is sustainable housing development. So because of it's sustainable, you have to pay more for the house price. Just because how you have a back garden for 3 times 5 square foot. Okay, so it costs you 200 to have that kinds of green. So that's why I wear green today. Okay, all right. Okay, so what is the fundamental of facilities management? Right. So based on that issues, when we talk about fundamentals in facilities management, actually we look at what exactly sustainable mean. Okay. So sustainables basically is integrations. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Alright. Sebab kenapa dia jalan macam-macam kan? Okay. Alright. Right. So this is back to the definitions of facilities management. So when we talk about facilities management, it's about the integrations. It's only the word integrations, very simple, integrations of people, process, and place. But the challenge is that the questions of how we're going to integrate, especially when we're talking about integrate the people. Dealing with physical, the facilities, the asset, whether it's a buildings or a car, so it's easy for us to manage. But when we talk about people's, their opinions is different. Okay, so this is how when we talk about facilities management, actually we provide a conducive environment to the people more than the place. We are actually managing the process more than the physical. That's the basic concept. All right, so as I mentioned before, okay, when we talk sustainable, it's become a rhetoric, but every single people in the world, any business decisions makers around the world are thinking, feeling, and planning for sustainable. The issue is that exactly the sustainable. Okay, so here I would like to explain a little bit. People might say that sustainable is about green. Yeah, it's about environmental, but exactly sustainable is actually about the word sustainability itself can be interpreted more than a green. It's about sustaining the effort, the variables of doing things. Yeah, and then, okay, so this is basically when we talk about what is sustainability. okay, give support to hold up, bear, or to keep up. Meaning when we are at that level, so we have to sustain for that level, and that is sustainability. But the questions of what to sustain, okay, what to sustain is we're talking about sustaining the sustainable development. And when we talk about sustainable development, we are talking about these 3 pillars of sustainability. And what exactly the 3 pillars is actually the balance between the economics, socials, and environment. So meaning facilities management that dealing with sustainable agenda is not dealing only with the green, but they are talking about the balance of economy, socials, and environment. This is where my questions to Encik Shah tadi, and then the answer is very beautiful. Thank you, Encik Shah. When Encik Shah mentions about the 10% of the development cost, and it's just like a theory of iceberg. Kan? Kita nampak that 10%, actually 90% is maintenance and operation cost. And we always neglect that cost. So that's what happened, especially for public building. And I feel that when I manage UTM's asset. Okay, so that's the challenge when we talk about with that strengths, with the resilience, with the corporate responsibilities. Now we talk about sustainability, how we're going to make it balanced. How sometimes the decisions on environment is more important than economics. How economics can develop a business model that appreciates the importance of social economics. Okay, that is what happened in Malaysia. And when we talk about FM, yeah, actually we are talking about the meetings our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So how that can be done through facilities management. When we're talking about operations, we don't look at the tactical, we don't look at the strategic at the upper level. And to put facilities management at the strategic level, we have to convince the top management. We have to make them believe that facilities management is not cost center. We have to explain to that facilities management is a proactive decisions that require a commitment from the top management to invest, to develop a business, feasible business model so that they may help in running the core business of the organizations. And that is supposed to be the thinking of facilities manager that I would like to share with you. Okay, so why sustainable facilities management is important? Why we talk about sustainable within a firm? Why it is important? Okay, the first keyword is that facilities is not exist in vacuum. What does it mean? We don't need facilities, we develop or we construct facilities for nothing. Right? Maksudnya kita takkan buat sesuka hati, tiba-tiba je nak buat rumah, tiba-tiba je nak buat bangunan. Okay, there must be a purpose. So what that purpose? So this is where before any decision to make a facilities, we have to know why facilities management is important in regards to sustainable development. Okay. So the first thing, all right, I would like to congratulate the facilities manager here. Of course, because registered with MAFM, right? But your involvement in facilities management, you can see that facilities manager control the operation costs of the facility. You as facilities manager, we can control the operation costs. Where when we talk about operation, when we talk about cost, budgeting is a heart of the organizations. This is where facilities manager always look at the top management look at the facilities manager as cost center, because you can control the operating costs of the facilities. Okay, and they have the greatest amount of influence on the productivities of the workforce. Just imagine, this is very high roles and responsibilities of facilities manager. Because of facilities manager, the core business cannot be delivered. Because fail in delivering the facilities service delivery, the supporting activities of organization cannot be delivered. And of course, organizational will run at loss. So this is how importance of facilities manager. So come on, okay? Please register with MAFM. Boleh? Saya tolong ni Cik Syah. All right. Okay. So, right. So this is where when we talk about sustainable facilities management, facilities management, we actually can focus on these 4 important things. So many things when we talk about sustainable, I mentioned about the balance. So how are we going to do, where are we going to start, right? So please, okay, we can focus on these 3-4 elements. First, to apply human technology for better service delivery. And I think for when talk about service or technology, Encik Sharina will discuss it further details. Yeah. And then to reduce the negative impact of buildings on their occupants and the environment. So what exactly the negative impact of the building? Of course, the CO2 emissions, the waste. Yeah. So that's the thing that you have to look into detail. And a unique process that offers a facilities manager the authority to make structural, architectural, and operational changes in the operations, because we have power. Facilities management have power. And of course, has a positive effect on the 3 main pillars of sustainable integrate SFM into organization vision. Okay. So what exactly strategic facilities management mechanism within the sustainable development? Okay. So we can see that this is the opportunity to apply sustainable in FM. We can look at the building performance, sustainable tools and standards. We go for user perception satisfactions, and of course, constructions and sustainable building materials. Okay. On top of that, we can go for building design and sustainability. Okay. So we can appreciate that how building design affect the maintenance cost, right? Right. Architect like to draw, to design a building. Okay. But as a facilities manager, we must make sure that the design of the building help us to maintain, okay, and to come up with good service delivery at effective and efficient or efficacy cost of doing things. And of course, urban development, green building, and of course, green process and system. And on top of this item, I would like to add that when we talk about sustainable facilities management, we have to look facilities more than a building. Okay, facilities is more than the building. It's not only building. Okay, others facilities such as mosques, schools, and then we talk about urban facilities management. We talk about housing. Yeah, this is all required sustainable facilities management. The issues of B40, the issues of struggling within the flat, for example, within the housing scheme, that's also one of the sustainable agenda that could be contributed by facilities manager. Okay, then we come to the resilience. So what exactly resilience in a simple way, when we talk about resilience actually is the kind of strategies that we have to strategize, whether it's due to the extreme weather or natural disasters, okay, or long-term climate changes. For example, COVID. Okay, one thing we learn about COVID is that we can't afford for not prepared. Okay, always being prepared. So I think that's the thing that we have to thinking when we talk about resilience. So as basically, what exactly the category of resilience that incorporate with sustainable in FM that should be a design for facilities managers to really look into. Yeah. So of course, recovery, bouncing back. How many companies that cannot be survived because of disasters, whether it's flood disasters, yeah, or because of COVID, so whatever kind of disaster. So how are we going to go with it? Okay, and then in terms of the resistance or robustness of absorptions, how are we going to absorb the things? And of course, planning, preparing, and protecting. And finally is adaptive capacity. How are we going to conduct that? Okay, so the answer is that, of course, start with planning. Okay, so what to planning? When we talk about resilience and facilities management, of course, business continuity. The business can't afford to stop for any means, even we don't have any budget for maintenance. Okay, for example, in higher education institutions, we always have very limited budget, but so many buildings, so many people. How are we going to do with that? Okay, so crisis communications, how the issues because of the communications, okay, is very vital. Just because of the communications, the perception is great. The top management create a bad perceptions for the operational just because of the communications. Yeah, and there is no trust from top management because of the communications. What communication? Communications of not delivering the service, cannot handling the complaints. So all these things become perceptions of top management. Finally, it's become something that should be planned for resilience. And of course, critical infrastructure protections, disaster recovery, continuity operations, and contingency planning. Okay, that's the thing when we talk about the resilience. And this is basically the details, okay, in terms of the process when we talk about when the disaster strikes, okay, and how we going to absorb or settle or conduct these risk mitigations into a disaster. But I will not go through the details. If you want to know the detail, nanti boleh register student masters in asset and facilities management UTM. Okay, alright, boleh Tisha? Sempatlah kan. Kita economics ni dia kena sambil menyelam minum air kan. Tapi ada skills tu, bila kita selam nak minum air jangan tersedak. Alright. Okay, right. So this is basically when we talk about resilience strategies for facilities, okay, we can divide into whether it's the long term, okay, and then through automations, right, collaborations with any organizations, and as well as resilience and cost justifications. And within our Malaysian cultures, or managing Malaysian building as a facilities, so the cost justifications always become the top ranking. Okay, anything you do, how much? Okay, what is the return on investment? The payback area. So that's always the questions from top management, right? So based on my experience, we have to just, even we want to change the chiller of the aircon, the top management asks, what is your return on investment? How are we going to make the facilities economic? How are we going to transform the change in chiller into the return on investment? How is it? All right. So basically, we will look at into the cost and benefit. So we have to run the cost and benefit analysis. This is part of the resilience in terms of cost justification. Sometimes when we talk about monetary, it's not viable, right? But when we convert the monetary into benefit, whether it's to students, to the customers, okay, to rakyat misalnya, right? So that will always be convert into monetary. This is how the cost and benefit analysis is important for us to run within the context of resilience and cost justification. Okay, the next thing is when we talk about CSR. Okay, CSR. I think everyone noticed about it. And it's become an authority, and it becomes part of the marketing of the organizations, and it becomes of the tax assumptions. Okay, but the most important things is that how these corporate social responsibilities can contribute to facilities management community. How the contributions of corporate that can improve the facilities management service delivery. I can give one examples what happened in Johor Bahru, which is under the program of Bangsa Johor Bahagia. Okay, this program is under Permaisuri Johor. So what happened is that we discovered most of the issues for B40 is come from the housing low-cost flat. What happened is low-cost flat, tuan-tuan? How MFM could play a role in low-cost flat? Agaknya apa? Suspend je kan. Datuk yang tengok saya macam tu, suspense. Okay. So the issues is that they are living in a parcels of house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, that only the house. So what we want to transform is that from this BJB, they have to appreciate their house or their home is not only a parcels, but the whole common area of the flat. How they going to conduct a group study, mengaji, ataupun family activities, if the area is not conducive. We're talking about property management, we're talking about this COB, but how this house become conducive. So what happened is that, most of the students keciciran, not go to school, there's an issues of economics. Okay, so that's the thing when we at UTM introduce how facilities management can play a role by a simple innovative ideas. So what I can share is that through the CSR, what happened is that we make a building rating, the block rating for the flat. So the one that winning or have a platinum block, we give them whatever necessary needs that's very quiet from that building. For example, baju sekolah, makanan, that hit their heart, that dia keperluan. Okay, so where we want to have this money? From the CSR. JFM ke, kan? Apa lagi company? Microcorp, right? Datuk, company apa Datuk? Right, so this kind of CSR is not giving them money, but we study the profile and what exactly need by that block. If there is so many ibu tunggal, then we provide the ibu tunggal keperluan. If there is so many remaja, then we go for teenagers, what exactly the keperluan. So where we get that money from the CSR. This is where we said that growing corporate social responsibilities is not always focusing on the building, but for the people. And this is what FM is about. It's about people, process, and place. And then this how the sustainable is being mentioned is about balancing the economic, environment, and social. What is nice about the green building, if people inside the building is not happy, so that actually the thinking, the strategic thinking that I would like to bring it on for the facilities manager here to innovate and start a new innovations, proactive, and start to learn, appreciate the thinking of strategic facilities management. Okay, right? So this is what I've been mentioned. Okay, right. So what exactly facilities manager CR stewardship? Okay, this is how do facility manage fit into the equations, the economic, as I mentioned before, right? The environmental, the ethical, and of course the philanthropic. Right, RM1 to us maybe it's nothing, but RM1 to the facilities management community is for them whether to survive or not to survive. That is how important the CSR. Okay, within facilities management organizations that go into the deep down of the urban facilities management that settle the issues of socio-economics, okay, in Malaysia. So this is how I look on the CSR, how I look on the sustainability and resilience of the roles and responsibilities of facilities management. So I think for that, okay, as per my conclusions, I believe that when we talk about facilities management, when we talk about sustainable resilience and corporate responsibilities, it must be integrated, and the final score is the people. For that, thank you very much. Okay, so question, if any? Tak acik ni, okay.
Okay. Morning, Buan. Just one question. Good morning, panel. How significant the green skill competence among facility managers at the current moment?
The green
Skill.
skills.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. When we talk about significant, I have to give a range. 1 to 10, because then we know the significant level, right? There's no yes and no answer, because significant is what the range, okay? So first, of course, the green is subject to what kind of facilities that you manage, okay? The skill sets for facilities manager is very important when we talk about the greenie, okay? But again, when we talk about significant, okay, how significant is the important is subject to what kind of facilities and organizational that you manage, okay? So when we talk about higher education institution, for example, okay, I can see that the green is very important. Why? Because most of the budget come from UPU, okay, for asset budget. One of the element or the criteria being assessed is sustainable. How green is your campus? What is your CO2 emissions? How you treat the waste management, the life cycle costing, okay? And then how you go for the what you so call as an effort sustainability within the context. Solar activities, for example, recycle, again, 3R. Now we talking about 4R, right? Recycle, reuse, reduce. But at universities, we add 1, refuse first. Refuse to use plastic, okay? That when you refuse, then you can, you don't need to reduce, okay? So this kind of facilities will determine the importance and significance of the skill set. Okay, thank you. And of course, when we're dealing with the healthcare services, so the demand is very high. Okay. Okay. Kita tu.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, and selamat raya to all the Muslims here. I just want to share, not a question,
Okay.
just want to share masalah yang dihadapi oleh penghuni rumah pangsa yang murah. Example in Klang Valley, a lot of problems. Even sekarang ni pun banyak masalah. How it's poorly maintained, lease a breakdown all the time. Now I think the big mistake, but I can't blame the government entirely, because I think the big push dalam 1970s is actually to house those people who were squatters. Stinggan kan? There were squatters all over the place. Khasnya belakang RTM tu, that area. There were so many squatters. So the government had to quickly build those housing, very low cost housing. Now, the agency was just for them to have a roof over their head for their families. Okay, tapi I think we've come to a stage now where we have to be not just thinking of planning in emergency situations, but also to be planning rationally. Yeah. Now you can actually, if you analyze the thing, why those flats are not performing as they should be, it's because they did not consider, number 1, maintainability. Number 2 is the functionability, function there. Okay? Then third one is about the human being. You mentioned about human tadi kan, people. I think people is the number 1 thing. If you want to build anything, I'm glad that, you know, all the lecture before this by Shah and by you focus on the people. Yeah? You see, when you build a house or you build a flat where so many people are staying in one building, number 1 thing is people. When you build a house, it's not about just building a house, it's building a community. So I think we have come to the stage now in Malaysia where we have to think about these things, where we build houses for the community. So that means, it cannot be like the way that we are building our roads, or at the present moment. I'm a roads person, so I can relate the two. Government is building a lot of roads, but the budget for maintaining them is not sufficient. In fact, it's a drop in the ocean. So what happens if you don't think ahead and plan ahead? what will be the cost of sustaining these roads? Same thing as sustaining buildings. Kan? But to convince the government how to think that way, it's a big challenge, Insha. And I think we in government are facing this. I mean, we in associations, MAGMA and MAFM, we are facing this problem, yeah? Because people are always thinking of doing things fast in the cheapest cost. But macam mana nak tukar dia punya fikiran tu supaya okay, you can get things cheap for now, but you are going to pay a lot more later. So this is my comment. I'd like to hear your views on that.
Thank you. Comment je kan, Datuk? It's not a question, right? Okay. Oh, you okay. So basically, Datuk, is exactly, absolutely the truth. Okay. So anything on earth, we start with the people. All right. So managing the peoples, as I mentioned, it's not easy, but it's doable. Okay. So I think this platform, whether MAFM, we have to bring it up to make facilities management for community much more encouraging. Okay, we have to go beyond the building. Okay, we look at the FM is not only on the technical, but we have to look the facilities management on the hearts. Okay, on the spiritual of facilities management, how the facilities management approach will go into the community, how to start with the building, with the small things. Okay, based on the project that I involved, is with small thing facilities management can contribute. For example, we translate the CISA, we call it CISA, right? CISA Segak, the project of CISA Segak. And then people might say, how CISA can be Segak? Because normally CISA is for Gagak. Right? So now we translate, the FM team, UTM translate CISA Segak. So what happened is that what we do, okay, is very simple things dalam issues on flat tadi, okay. So isu buang sampah daripada tingkat 3, tingkat 4, 5 jatuh macam tu is normal. So what happened is that we study why, okay, what happened, kenapa berlaku. Actually, it's not really, of course, the attitude, but one of the, we not support them. Sometimes yang buang tu, because they don't have support system. Nak buang sampah jauh, for example, okay, tempat sampahnya jauh, and then they have a baby ke, kadang warga emas ke, so they just throw. Of course, yang nakal pun banyak, right? So what happens is that when we call for Segak, we create squad facilities among the teenagers. The squad facilities bring plastic bag sampah, go through the doors, and siapa the one any unit yang nak buang sampah, pay them RM1 per plastic. So what happened is that we create a job, we create the economic, and then actually we create the relationship from that squad facilities. We name it as squad facilities. Kalau tengok kat TikTok saya tu ada, saya ambil baju squad facilities for them. So what happened is that now the teenagers yang tak pergi sekolah, you know, yang they want money but they don't know what to do. Okay, every time balik sekolah they go to the perbadanan. Okay, they want to have that job. Yeah, then they go lah. Okay, dia pergi, then take satu hari sometimes dapat RM10, RM15. So then when that program start, so it's easy. No problems of waste dah, tak ada issues buang sampah. Okay, there is improvement on the interactions of the community. Okay, we create the economics, even RM1, but dia punya vibrant tu macam bandar je. Dia punya change tu is very good. Okay, and in fact, start from just lump the sampah, sama ada sampah domestik ke apa, they start to recycle. Then they deal with the majlis so that they can angkat botol kaca and whatnot. So this is small effort, but it give an impact. So that's the thing that I want to share. To what you are talking is about true attitude. Yes, dekat JP ada macam tu, setinggan yang kita transform terus duduk dalam. Actually, we create stratified setinggan rather than landed setinggan. That's the issues. Thank you, Dato'. Okay. Terima kasih. InsyaAllah jumpa lagi.
Terima kasih, Prof. Our third panelist is Encik Ahmad Syaranon Mat Syarani. We invite him to give his take on the importance of technology in making FM relevant for businesses. Yes, Sharana.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good almost afternoon now. Sorry, 12 o'clock. So I have 15 minutes before after this, Mr. Al-Jufri will continue it, and we will stop at 12:30. Okay. Thank you for first of all, thank you for MFM for inviting me back to the stage, MFM stage. After I think I retired for the MFM in 2019 together with the Tan Sri Jamilos and Arwah Prof Hakim. So then I only joined the activity behind the scene. So and 2020 is a COVID year. So and now it's 2023. It's almost like 3 years. Even though we have COVID, so I managed to complete my master during the COVID. Instead of do nothing during the COVID holiday. So just coincident that I taking the programs and then we have COVID. So yeah, I managed to complete my master during COVID. Okay, today I would like to talk or to touch base about the important technology, the importance of technology in making FM relevant for businesses. Okay? So I've been involved in providing a technology solution for FM. I started in year 2001. Before that, I was working in the IT company that providing the infrastructure for a client. I'm taking over the IT department, like I'm doing the outsourced services. Like those days, I'm taking over the IT department of public listed company that I offer back as a service to them. So we don't call it FM those days. We call it IT outsourcing. Okay, but in 2001, I've been given a task from my outsourcing company that asking me to supply solution called computer-aided facility management. Okay. Before that, I didn't know what is FM is all about. But in 2001, I've been asked to supply a solution or provide a solution for computer-aided facility management. And I didn't know that whatever that I did those days, taking over the IT department as an outsourced company is part and parcel of the FM services, but on the IT part. So that's where my journey in FM start actually. And of course, before that, I also working with the water company as a rehabilitation and refurbishment or managing and maintaining of 27 water treatment plant in Selangor. So I didn't know that is that also the FM element inside that. So it's just managing the water treatment plant. And yeah, and I also taking over the IT department of them, to serve them as a outsourced service company. And at the same time, I'm providing a consultation. How can they leveraging the IT in providing their services as a distributions and water supply to the Selangor and Kuala Lumpur area? Okay. Yeah, we didn't know that the important thing of the technology in making FM relevant. It's like, I didn't know about FM those days, but there are the technology that I start to use. I start designing the complaint system for the water company, like the 1-800, the numbers, and behind the scene that I designing the whole package for them. So I said, we need to reduce the heat. When people call no water, within 5 seconds, reduce the heat. Don't chit chat with them, start to pick up the information and let them happy and the information or their problem being taken care. So within 5 seconds. So we need to do that, So yeah, there's no technology involved, it's just a phone call, So, but it's actually behind it, there is a technology like you need to pass the information to other department. We need to ask the other department to take care of the issues, of the complainant, So I don't call that the computerized facility management system at that particular time. I just said it's a complaint system. Okay. But now, So facility management is an essential aspect in managing any business. So without that, maybe the FM is no longer relevant, because people want to convey a message about the complaint and they want to know the response. Like last time, I remember you fill the form and we will notify you when the information resolved. But now if you have that kind of environment, I think the contract will be terminated after that. Okay, I think, but this still available. The situation is still available, like the majlis, fill the form in the mobile or in the website, and then immediately they will answer you. We will resolve it in the 14 days. 14 days. The response time is 14 days. Okay, so within that 14 days, maybe you forgot about it. Okay, so I list down. There is some way of technology have made FM more relevant for businesses. Like first is about the streamline the process. Like I said, the process of making a complaint, resolving a complaint, we need to streamline. So maybe from the piece of paper that they put a complaint, and behind that form, there is a process workflow that we need to digitize. We need to digital it, So those days we design the complaint form based on process flow. But now with the technology, we need to streamline the process. So the form that we use those days might no longer viable in the current business situation, because nowadays people want to have a complaint in the WhatsApp. They don't want to have any forms anymore. Okay. Enhancing communication. The form is actually the communication modes on delivering the situation, delivering the problem. So, but how can we enhance that? But they want to have providing a real-time data. For example, if you ask them when you want me to resolve the problem, they say tomorrow. No, they don't say tomorrow. Maybe they say yesterday. Okay, so this is what been repeated by our late Dr. Esami Velu. So he wanted to be resolved yesterday. Okay, so increase transparency. Yeah, he want to know who they are. I will elaborate in detail about this. Then last is about the improved energy efficiency. I think this, like yesterday, our minister, Mr. Rafizi, mentioning about how can we start offering the energy efficiency. Okay, so let's look the explanation in the next slide. First is about the streamlined process. Like I mentioned, so in digital technology or in the application in FM, we always talk about work order management, complaint system, preventive maintenance, inventory management, asset management, space management, So, but all this technology, if you want to streamline it, with the FM process, it's actually about the streamlining the communication of all this activity. So, where those days is not been integrated, because of the technology now, we can integrate work order for complaint is actually related to preventive maintenance, and is also going to reflect the inventory of the parts or tools that we want to use, and the end of the day is going to reflect back the asset situation, the asset utilization, the asset status, the asset life cycle. So that how can, if without the technology, you want to streamline this process, and at the end of the month, like Prof mentioned about that, I want to know the asset life cycle costing. So you just imagine how tedious activity that we need to involve in order to come up with the asset life cycle costing. Okay, so the end things is that is how can, when we want to streamline it, if we streamline it based on process without looking on the communication, without looking on the communication skill or communication process, we will unable to streamline the process. We end up we buy many applications. So that's why important thing that we want to streamline the process, we need to look the key things is how this process communicate with each other. So otherwise we are not going to able to communicate, to do the integration or to do the streamlining process effectively. Okay. So next is about the enhancing communication. Okay. So nowadays when we talk about enhancing communication, so we even communicate among our family member no longer that with the phone calls, right? So we start to enhancing with the WhatsApps, Telegrams, or even a social media. Imagine we communicate with our wife using a Facebook, So where are you? Please see in my Facebook, So it's where am I? So I check in here, check in there, So this is part of the parcel of the enhancing communication, So of course, this enhancing communication with the mobile device or mobile apps, So we require a mobile itself, whereby the application running in the mobiles, And so from that information, the activity of the clouds, we start triggering without we feel it, people ask, are you using cloud? No, we don't use cloud. Where is your Facebook store your information? So it's in cloud, but we didn't realize that it's actually a cloud-based application. So this is part and parcel that we are actually enhancing our way of doing things for ourselves in day-to-day activity, but we forgot how to do enhancing of our communication in a process of FM. So imagine I created an application, like mobile application, for a customer, and they reject it. They said we no longer interested with this kind of application. We want the application that I can just do it like I answer a question using WhatsApp and Google Forms. The survey in the Google Forms, the survey in Telegram, the survey in WhatsApp, So these are the challenges of people like me that to do this enhancing communication, because the FM people, the FM workforce, and the client or our customer, so there will be a lot of digital divide if we don't do it carefully, So the client become more smarter than ourselves, The clients become more analytics or more strategic than us. If we didn't leveraging the technology that we currently have, but we don't appreciate it. Like we have the iPhone, but we only make it for the phone calls. We pay for 6,000 ringgit for the iPhone just to make a phone calls, not leveraging it. Okay. So digital signages, So nowadays we talk about digital signages is no longer in the on the roads, but it's already applied in the parking lot. So and future, it's not yet. I mean, it's not far away. We are now promoting about how can I do a digital signages using mobile apps. Where can it direct me to the meeting rooms? Imagine that this kind of technology that is available. It's like translating it. Whatever happened at the road, now it want to happen in the building. Digital signages. So instead of displaying it, but it's like a guiding where they are in the buildings. Okay. So, and how we can use that, because this is the evolution of the building information modeling, integrated with the building automation system, integrated with the Internet of Things, then we can have that technology on our mobile app, on our screen, on our handphones. So these are the things that we talk about enhancing communication. How can we enhance it? Like those days, I remember I'm a graduate as a land surveyor. I've been called back to perform as a land surveyor jobs, but it's not utilizing the theodolite. They're asking me to help them to do the digital scanning. It's like transforming the survey works on outside, now do it in the building to do a scanning works, redraw back the building using a digital scanner. So this is the surveyor enhancement works. Now, I mean, those days they are in the field work outside of the building, but now they are doing it inside of the building to redraw back the building from utilizing the digital scanning. Okay, these are the enhancing it, but again, not many people can perform that if they don't know about how the surveyor do their works on the field, even though they have the equipment. Okay, so by enhancing the communication, so the stakeholder like us will get the real-time information. Maybe those days we don't care about the real-time information. Maybe now, maybe you don't care about real-time information. Okay, bear in mind. Okay, so this is what I always told the FMers. In the situation whereby our weather is not stable, we need a BOMO hujan. Okay, BOMO. Where can we get digital BOMO? We can advise us to prepare the umbrella for our visitor, to prepare our security officer, the gate people, with the proper tools to mitigate the floods, So now we need to rely on, like I always told the new guy, the new FMers, the student, look, okay, you need to see your weather forecast daily nowadays before you start works, so you know what to plan. So then we start to enhance that knowledge, transfer it to the team, and transfer it to the stakeholder. That today, it's like you wish every morning in the groups, like mentioning that today we have a severe weather forecast. They're going to be raining at 3 o'clock, even though it's not going to rain, But so we should tell them, But this is the enhancing communication that I told. Okay? And again, all this information like is available. It's available, like it's free. It's free. So you can make use it, and then you start to enhance it, and you can enhance the FM's practice and processes that inside your building. It's no cost involved. Simple things, simple efforts. Okay. So, and by having that, we are actually providing real data that we need to analyze. And when talk about the data, like I said, we have Internet of Things, building automation, computerized facility management software, predictive analytics. We involve many data. I think few presentation that I made before, like I talk about data is a new oil. Data is a new oil. And so people start to searching for a data because they want to sell the data, or they sell the analytic data because it's valuable. How? Data is a new oil. The weather forecast is a data, but it's free. But it's free when you talk about 6 hours. But you need to pay when you want to get seconds or minutes. You want to get accurate data, you start paying it. You start to subscribing it. So this way the data that we have, free data, we don't analyze it, we need to pay. But we start to build and analyze it, we get better decision to make. So, and I have a few intern students from the statistics and mathematics graduates. So they doesn't know where to go actually. They think that, where should I work? Okay. So we invite them to do a practical with us. We teach them how they can appreciate their degree, their degree in mathematics and statistics. Nobody interested them. I told them that, look, okay, if you work with us for 6 months, I believe, after the 7 months, many FM organizations interested to hire you, because we already tell them how to process the data, what they want to do, what are the do and don'ts, what are the issue of the data that been produced by the FMers that giving us the data in the work order for us to process, to study how is their organization handling the work orders. We study and we told them that these are the mistake, the work orders without the location, the problem is not standards, then how can we do the analytics data further and further, So, and how can we provide the good real data with the analytics tools, So these are the exercise that we give to this statistic and mathematics student. And I told them that the big data or the big client of this is all the FM company that require this data to provide the enhancing service to the client. Okay, so we do a lot of maintenance management data, like what Cik Shah demonstrate the cement. So when the cement said the situation of the building, okay, So what I do is that I integrate ChatGPT. You know ChatGPT? ChatGPT. So I integrate ChatGPT to my computerized facility management system. Then they can produce that kind of result. Okay. But provided the FMers, the workforce, the technical workforce, giving the information in the application that been asked them to use, not to write, not to take notes on the piece of paper anymore. They need to write in the application. The problem that I study is technical workforce. When involved about the real time, the technology, the problem is the communication. Because when they write with their own language. They write with their own way of doing things, They don't write it proper language. Not I said proper Malay, Bahasa Malaysia or English, They write in their not in the proper language. Like not in the proper forms. Short forms, So with this kind of mentality, we cannot embrace the technology or the digital application that we have. Because we need them to know how to communicate correctly. Otherwise, I need to do a lot of script to convert their data to another right data. Like for example, they talk about work ID, they always use short form ID. But we thought the ID is identity card, but the system cannot recognize it. So like the people from the overseas, from the expatriates, they have a good communication skill. When they write it, they write in proper communication. So then that data can be leveraged for the application to read and to show like what Siemens have do. So from that, you subscribe ChatGPT, link with the automation or computerized facility management system that you have, read your corrective and preventive maintenance, and they can advise you. So you have done this, they have done this, Ali have done this, and then this is the outcome. Because ChatGPT is the AI that analyze the language and give you some analytics, and you need to put your technical skills, your expertise to digest whatever result that been produced by ChatGPT. So you cannot take it as it is. Okay. In summary, the technology provide real-time analytics in FM by collecting and analyze data on various aspects of facility operation. So nowadays, when we talk about the facility operation, it's not just about the operation maintenance data. It's about visitors, it's about how many people are coming, which floor they are going, which room they use, because these are the data that you need to study. And so I always said about this, we always forgot about the big data that been created when you enter to any building. You write it and people forget about it. You write your names, dates, times, and sometimes people ask to show the IC to prove it you are, but nobody process that data. That is one of the big data that been left out. Okay, about the increasing transparency, okay? So because it's a real time, it's it's automated, so we can come up with the real time reporting. Nobody will question your reports anymore because it's real time. When you say it's wrong, it's wrong, it's true, okay? Because it's real time. And then we talk about we want to see the performance. You always say, I want to see dashboard. I want to see dashboard, So what is the point to see the dashboard when the data is not real time? When the data is not real, but it's just a dummy things that have been displayed to please somebody that want to have a dashboard. But it's not being utilized. And then mobile apps, and collaboration platforms, such as a collaboration platform like maybe a project management tool. I always say that nowadays collaboration platform is not any software like maybe mobile. WhatsApp is our collaboration platform nowadays. Telegram, these are maybe there will be a new tool came out. Maybe it's not being used here, but this is the collaboration platform that is simply to use. Based on my study about the digital divide of the technical workforce in FM on utilizing digital application in one of the sites in Malaysia, we identified that the issue it's no longer issue about digital application, digital platform. It's just a new issue where we are creating a new digital divide, or a new jurang digital. If we are not settling it. So we are going to create the new technical workforce without any fundamental knowledge. Very strong fundamental knowledge about the electrical, mechanicals, So you need to be careful on that. So, and last is all these elements, at the end of things, technology, we need to see, link it to something. Okay, but these are the famous one that, because we talk about the improving energy efficiency. Like I think yesterday our minister talked about how can we put more energy efficiency contracts, maybe more solar panel in Putrajaya, maybe more solar panel project. Talk about how can we do this energy efficiency. And last and but not least, all this end up to this workflow. So this is the workflow that I created because of the how can I link this with our topic today about sustainability, energy management, environment, and how can we link with the government. So all these digital application, all these digital tools, sometimes we want to leveraging it, we doesn't know how it been linked, where data being created, how can we utilize. So I come up with this idea, and it's how can we utilize all digital application toward the ESG. So I think to end my presentation, so if you have any question and answer, so I'm willing to share the answer with you. Thank you. Any question?
Just one question. Ada tak bangunan di Malaysia ni yang betul autonomous building? Is there any now, or is there none in Malaysia?
Okay, building automation ni dia dibina mengikut keperluan waktu itu, the demand for that particular time. So for example, we talk about Cyberjaya, we talk about smart building. So the automation and that particular time is yes, there is, but it's not yet full range. Okay, but it evolves. Like maybe we said a Leo building in Putrajaya is the automation building, but you look on the defining of automation that they have to automate it, maybe not fully, but based on what they design on that particular time, what they achieve, what they want to achieve in that particular years, yes, they automate it. But to having the fully automated, we need to look back also our bylaw, because there is a limitation on our bylaw to allow the building to become fully automated. And so to answer to that, yes, but not fully, because based on the technology available at that particular time and the definition of the automated building particular time. So that's like those days in year 2005, I designed my office to be automated. So I can just like automate I want to schedule the CCTV, the lighting, but not as good as today, And those days we use Nokia 3310 only to program it, But now we are like mobile apps, like we have a DIY for IoT device, link it with the existing automation system, giving a reports, and then that DIY IoT device, instead of fix, now we can move around. So instead of we buy building automation system fix, now I buy building automation system IoT DIY, I can move around for my analytic, for my survey activity. So I want to, because somebody said that his room or her room is always hot. And inside our design of building automation, we don't have sensor to monitor the temperature. So if I want to, automate it, I buy DIY IoT device, put it inside his room or her room, plug it, Wi-Fi, send the reading to the office. That I can say actually he got the hot situation because impact from the boss, not really the cooling system. Okay, so but we doesn't know, because they said that after lunch he complained that the aircon is not enough. So these are the things that As a FM, we have difficult to answer because we look at our temperature setting is like 16 already, you know. So, but these are the tools, the data that been utilized to answer to this kind of problems, you know. Ni kita panggil BOMO FM juga lah. Okay, so any question? Betul? So there is, but it based on the definition. Like those days, when I involved in 1996, you know, in one of the IT company, we did talk about the smart building. You know, there's one place in the US, in the LA, they said this is smart city. So when we were there, so the smart city is not about the automation. It's about the people living there smart way. So we thought it's all IT things, you know. But how come they start the IT at that 1996, you know? If the internet is not yet blooming, you know, but they said it's a smart city. So we went there, we see that it's not really things that what we should automate it, you know, but the people there are smart, like disciplines, you know, their attitudes, you know. So they made the smart. So even our KLFID, Kuala Lumpur Financial District, is supposed to be a smart city. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Any question? Okay.
Good, Sharanul. Our final panelist is Surveyor Al-Jufri Muhammad Arifin. All the views presented by our first three panelists on future trends will not be tackled efficiently if regulatory changes do not keep in pace. Hence, let's hear what Surveyor Al-Jufri has got to say about policy and regulatory changes in keeping with trends on FM. I invite him to the rostrum.
Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat tengah hari dan salam Malaysia Madani. Okay, sebelum tu saya minta izin untuk saya beri pembentangan dalam dua bahasa lah, bahasa Inggeris dan bahasa Melayu. Saya mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Sekretariat MAFAM kerana menjemput CIDB untuk membagi talk berkenaan dengan regulatory changes in trends in FM, tapi more on policy and regulatory. Okay. Bila saya dapat call daripada MAFAM untuk bagi talk ni, saya ringat baliklah saya punya perjalanan kerjaya saya dalam FM ni. Saya terlibat dengan FM ni daripada tahun 2011. Mana saya ingat lagi pada masa tu di bawah JKR Putrajaya saya terlibat dengan Cik Shah, Cik Amir, siapa lagi? Cik Mazhar pada masa tu. Kalau kita tak salah kita buat bengkel kefahaman peranan verifier, tak salah saya, pada tahun 2011-2012. Cik Syahrinun pun ada kan. Lepas tu bila saya bertukar-tukar company apa semua, last kali saya terlibat masuk dalam CIDB, saya membangunkan standard FM, pun jumpa barisan yang sama. Kan. Lepas tu bila saya handle salah satu program SKP FM, jumpa lagi Cik Amir sebagai pengajar kan. So apa yang saya nak cakap kat sini, industri FM ni kita tak adalah besar dari segi manpower. Kita akan jumpa orang kebanyakan kan. Akan jumpa orang yang sama. Okay. Sebelum saya teruskan yang untuk pembentangan saya berkenaan policy and regulatory changes in FM ni, cuma saya nak saya kenali, nama saya Al-Jufri bin Muhammad Arifin, daripada bahagian pembangunan kontraktor, sektor kontraktor dan levy CIDB Malaysia, yang mana bahagian kami yang terlibat yang paling besarnya ialah development of contractors. Dalam masa yang sama kami terlibat sebagai sekretariat dan also orang cakap apa, focal point lah untuk FM, untuk kita streamline all those programs dalam FM di CIDB. Jadinya bersama dengan saya punya bos, Puan Faradila Zabah, minta tolong diri sikit Puan. Tadi masa yang mula-mula Cik Syah sebut pasal saya key man tu, saya nak perbetulkan Cik Syah lah, saya bukan key man. Bos saya key man, or should I say key woman lah. Saya hanya report kepada my key man, key woman. Okay. Saya terangkan kalau ikutkan presentation saya ni, masa diberikan task tu, saya tak tahu pula kena bagi presentation 15 minit. Jadinya saya sediakan presentation saya sebanyak mungkin. Lepas tu bila tahu kontak dengan Cik Tamil, Cik Tamil ada 15 minit. 15 minit saya cakap macam mana nak compress kan. Tapi tak apalah, saya cuba buat sebrief yang mungkin. Dan hopefully kita boleh end by mungkin dalam 11.50 ke kan. Okay, basically saya punya presentation akan terbahagi kepada 3. FM overview, kemudian kita akan tengok FM at CIDB, and also kita akan tengok sikit pasal CIDB FM Strategic Plan 2023 ataupun kita panggil CFMP 2023. Okay, secara briefnya, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan adalah lebih harif pada saya. Kalau kita tengok sekali imbas ekosistem pembinaan, yang pertama sekali kita start dengan perancangan yang reka bentuk, kemudian kita pergi pada pembinaan, kemudian kita pergi pada operasi dan penyelenggaraan, dan yang terakhir sekali ialah perobohan. Kalau lengkap satu cycle ni, maka lengkaplah jangka hayat satu aset ataupun bangunan tu lah. Dalam setiap fasa ni, ramai pihak yang terlibat. Okay, so kalau kita tengok dari segi perancangan reka bentuk, dari perancangan dari reka bentuk, kita ada pihak klien, of course, kita ada PMC, Project Monitoring Committee, kita ada civil, mechanical, electrical, QS dan sebagainya lah. Kemudian masa pembinaan masih lagi kita ada klien, kita ada superintending officer, kita ada CIDB, kita ada PMC dan pelbagai lah, dan last sekali ada contractors lah kat situ. Kemudian kita pergi pada operasi penyelenggaraan pun sama, kita ada klien, kita ada SO, kita ada CIDB, dan kita ada verifier dan juga last sekali contractors. Dan last sekali untuk elemen yang terakhir ialah perobohan, yang mana kita define, CIDB define sebagai kerja pembinaan juga, yang mana ada klien, SO, CIDB dan juga contractors. Okay. Ini sekali imbas lah. Kita tengok, kita recap balik. Kemudian kalau kita tengok pada tahun 2022 untuk kontrak FM dan juga housekeeping and pest control, dia mencatatkan untuk total cost keseluruhan tahun 2022 3.35 bilion untuk projek-projek di bawah seliaan JKR sahaja, tak termasuk dengan projek-projek swasta. Okay. Daripada 3.35 bilion tu, kontrak cost untuk facility maintenance and management bernilai 3.07 bilion, dan untuk housekeeping dan pest control bernilai 0.28 bilion. Ini data yang kita terima masa FMAC baru ni, Cik Syah. Dia presentation daripada IR Anita pada masa tersebut. Okay. So apa yang saya nak sebut kat sini ialah nilainya adalah tinggi, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Maka CIDB sebagai badan yang menjalankan kajian atau memajukan industri pembinaan, wajarlah untuk memberi contribution dari segi training, dari segi kajian, dari segi apa-apalah penambahbaikan dalam bidang FM ni. Okay. Seterusnya kita lihat apa yang ada di FM di CIDB. Okay. Yang bagi Datuk. Assalamualaikum. Ya, okay. Okey, kalau kita tengok fungsi CIDB di bawah Akta 520 yang berdekat dengan FM ni ialah kita mendaftar dan mengakreditasi kontraktor, mengenakan apa-apa syarat pendaftaran dan akreditasi kontraktor, dan membatal atau mengembalikan semula pendaftaran dan akreditasi kontraktor. Okey, meaning to say by right dalam Akta 520 tersebut, selagi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan berdaftar valid dengan CIDB untuk jalan di bawah kategori F01, maka tuan-tuan boleh membida dan layak untuk dipertimbangkan untuk dianugerahkan projek FM. Selain pada itu, tak valid, sepatutnya tak boleh menjalankan kerja-kerjanya. Okay? Dan selain pada itu, salah satu fungsi CIDB ialah mengadakan perkhidmatan, perlindungan dan nasihat berkenaan industri pembinaan, memajukan dan menggalakkan jaminan kualiti dan industri pembinaan, dan memajukan dan mengkaji semula dan menjelaskan latihan dalam industri pembinaan. Okay, so Kat sini jelas kita punya fungsi, kita ada 13 fungsi dalam Akta 520 dan kita takrifkan kerja pembinaan tu sebagai pembinaan, penyambungan, pemaksanaan, pembaikan, penyelenggaraan, pembaharuan, pengubahan, pengubahan dan penambahan ataupun perobohan. Meaning to say, selagi anda, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, menjalankan kerja-kerja seperti yang disebutkan, termasuklah penyelenggaraan itu ialah di bawah bidang kuasa CIDB lah untuk mengakreditasi dan juga mendaftar tuan-tuan sebagai kontraktor FM. Okay, jelas kat situ? So apa yang ada kat CIDB sekarang yang direct dengan FM yang orang cakap termaktub dalam Akta 520, yang pertama sekali kita ada pendaftaran dan akreditasi kontraktor FM. Macam saya sebut tadilah, by right, selagi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tidak berdaftar dengan CIDB sepatutnya tak boleh buat. Tapi kita memperuntukkan setiap kontraktor yang menjalankan kerja pembinaan, pengurusan fasiliti kena berdaftar sebagai kontraktor dengan CIDB di bawah kategori F. Okey. Yang keduanya, bila tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dah berdaftar sebagai kontraktor, tuan-tuan akan membida projek, layak untuk membida projek, dan sekiranya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan di-awardkan untuk projek tersebut, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan perlulah mengisytiharkan projek itu kepada CIDB. Okay? Dan kalau kata nilai projeknya melebihi daripada 500,000, maka tuan-tuan dan puan-puan kena membayar levy kepada CIDB. Okay? Itu kedua-dua yang tadi direct ke bawah sektor kontraktor dan levy CIDB Malaysia. Kemudian yang ketiga, apa yang ada, kita ada kursus pengurusan kontraktor yang kita target groupkan kepada pengarah dengan pemilik syarikat. Kita sebut secara short formnya SKP, Sijil Kecakapan Pengurusan, yang mana yang ini bertujuan untuk sebarang urusan lah nanti untuk renewal ke apa kan. Itu kita guna sijilan SKP tu. Dan yang kedua, kita ada Sijil Kecakapan Kompetensi Pembinaan, FME dan FMM, Facility Maintenance Management Executive dan Facility Maintenance Management Managers. Itu pun sebahagian daripada keperluan untuk renewal nanti, kontraktor nanti. Yang SKP itu di bawah selian bahagian pembangunan kontraktor, bawah sektor kontraktor levy, manakala yang untuk SKP FM tu di bawah sektor personel binaan. Yang mana macam saya sebut tadilah, SKP lebih kepada pengarah dengan pemilik syarikat, SKKP lebih kepada orang yang digajikan majikan. Maknanya engineers, project managers, itu personal binaan. Pengarah dengan pemilik syarikat lain. Okey. Dan yang keempat, yang terakhir sekali, sektor penguatkuasaan, yang mana mereka menjalankan kerja-kerja penguatkuasaan terhadap projek-projek FM yang mana saya sebut tadi. Kalau dia datang di tapak tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, dia mesti tengok tuan-tuan dan puan-puan berdaftar dengan CIDB. Lepas tu kalau kata layak untuk membayar levy, dia akan tengok. Kemudian dia akan tengok beberapa perkara lain lah. Contohnya kalau macam dalam Akta 520, kita memperuntukkan setiap skill workers, pekerja mahir dan juga site supervisor perlulah mendapat pentauliahan daripada CIDB. Meaning to say, kalau kita ada satu projek FM ni, kita hire kita punya technicians yang menjalankan kerja barbender, wiring dan sebagainya, dia wajib dapat pensijilan CIDB ataupun yang setara dengan tu, yang mana yang ditentukan oleh CIDB lah. Kalau tak dapat, kita boleh kenakan tindakan lah, termasuk dengan site supervisor. Okay. Untuk managers dan juga apa, kita tak kenakan apa-apa. Nak pergi dapatkan pensijilan boleh, tapi tak ada undang-undang memperuntukkan kita mengenakan apa-apa tindakan lah. So basically, ini adalah 4 perkara yang direct dengan apa yang berlaku untuk industri FM lah, untuk yang berkaitan dengan FM lah. Ada benda-benda lain ataupun program-program lain-lain juga ada berkaitan dengan FM. Saya ambil contoh macam Syasik. Dia ada berkaitan dengan FM. Cumanya saya tak letakkan kat sini lah. Syasik ni kita punya penilaian untuk safety, health and quality lah. Okay. Seterusnya, kalau tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tengok, kalau setakat 10 April tahun 2023, kita ada 686 kontraktor yang berdaftar dengan CIDB yang masih valid. Okey, sebenarnya nombornya lebih lagi, tapi saya nak cakap yang masih valid lah. Yang lainnya telah luput pendaftaran lah. So kita ada dua kategori kat sini, F01 dan juga F02. Buat masa ni lah kita mendaftarkan, kita takrifkan selain pada kerja bangunan kesihatan, maknanya fasiliti kesihatan, hospital, klinik kesihatan dan semuanya, kita takrifkan sebagai bangunan am. Okey. Dan InsyaAllah kalau kata jadi kita akan buat untuk yang kategori-kategori yang lain lah. Kita akan wujudkan untuk kategori-kategori lain. Okey. Seterusnya saya sekiranya imbas, saya nak tunjuk keperluan untuk syarat pendaftaran kontraktor pengurusan fasiliti yang sedia ada. Tadi kita sebut kita kena keep in trend with FM changes kan, sebab FM ni kan evolution kan, dia evolve setiap tahun, maka kita akan tambah baiklah pada syarat yang sedia ada. Kalau tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tengok untuk kategori G4 untuk permohonan baru, kita dah beri green lane pada 2017 sehingga 2019, dan selepas pada tu bila nak mengemukakan permohonan baru, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan perlu mengemukakan personal technical, tuan-tuan perlu ada bachelor, at least diploma dalam pengurusan fasiliti dan juga resume. Okay. Kalau tak ada diploma dalam pengurusan fasiliti, ada dalam bidang pembinaan, contoh diploma in civil engineering, dia perlu membuktikan melalui resume. Dia membuktikan dia paling tidak pun dia pernah bekerja dalam bidang pengurusan fasiliti selama 3 tahun. Okey, paling tidak. Kemudian, katalah dia dah berdaftar dengan CIDB selama 2 tahun, dia dah nak expired, kan? Nak buat permohonan renewal nanti, pengarah ataupun pemilik syarikat dia perlu ada SKP facility yang saya sebut tadi. Okey, bila dia dah ada SKP facility, dan personal technical dia pun sama. Dia kena ada paling tidak diploma in FM dan juga tambah SKKP yang dikeluarkan oleh CIDB. Alright. Ini yang peraturan yang sedia ada lah. Walau bagaimanapun, kita akan pergi pada 1 Jun 2024, kita akan mengenakan syarat baru lah. Yang mana syarat baru ni is much more simpler. Yang mana yang first, pengarah pemilik syarikat dia mesti ada SKP facility. Lepas tu personal technical dia 1 orang, at least diploma berkaitan pembinaan plus sijil kompetensi kemahiran pembinaan oleh CIDB FME lah. Okey. Dan seterusnya kita akan kalau tengok tadi dia apa kan, complicated sikit. Yang ni bermula 1 Jun 2024 kita akan impose this new syarat lah. Okey. Seterusnya okey, yang ni the ultimate lah untuk presentation saya. Saya akan cerita sikit pasal CIDB Facility Management Strategic Plan ataupun kita panggil CFMP 2023. Okey, selalu yang kita dengar apabila bercakap pasal FM ni, yang kita tahu, kita dengarlah rungutan daripada orang luar yang setiap kontraktor yang berdaftar dengan CIDB bila dia jalankan kerja tak dapat memuaskan hati pelanggan, tak ikut kualiti kan. Benda tu hearsay, dia belum dibuktikan dengan data, dengan fakta lah. Kita tak dapat nak cakap benda tu kan. Macam mana nak sebut satu perkhidmatan tu, FM services tu adalah berkualiti. Saya pun tak boleh nak cakap benda tu kan. Jadinya walaupun pelbagai usaha macam tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tengok tadi, saya dah sebut macam-macam CIDB buat dan juga industri pun dah laksanakan. Kita dah daftar kontraktor dah, kita dah persijilan pada personel dah, pengarah pemilik syarikat pun dah kan. Tapi masih lagi kita dengar masalah dalam industri FM ni lah. Dan yang keduanya, bila kita dah tahu masalah tu, apa yang sepatutnya CIDB sebagai regulatory body dan juga development body, apa yang patutnya kita buat kan? Apa yang patutnya dilaksanakan mengikut kesesuaian semasa lah. Jadinya CIDB telah memutuskan ikutkan fungsi CIDB, kita berperanan untuk majukan, merangsang, mengusahakan penyelidikan mengenai apa-apa perkara berhubung dengan industri pembinaan, dan perkara ni telah pun didaftarkan di bawah CIDB Strategic Plan, yang mana kita akan menyediakan satu strategic plan lah, CFMP, yang mana kajian ni dia akan merungkai orang cakap apa, satu kajian yang komprehensif yang akan merungkai pada peringkat pihak berkepentingan dalam industri FM. Kita kenal pasti, kita buat mapping. Lepas tu kita kenal pasti dasar, akta dan juga peraturan dan program yang sedia ada yang berlaku sekarang ni. Dan kita kenal pasti cabaran dan permasalahan industri FM di Malaysia, dan kita buat pelan tindakan jangka pendek, sederhana, panjang di bawah seliaan dan kelolaan CIDB. Yang mana segala usaha ni hanya satu je, dia punya pengakhiran dia, kita nak naikkan industri FM ni kepada satu tahap level yang lebih tinggi. Okay. Kita nak pastikan semua kontraktor yang berdaftar dengan CIDB dapat melaksanakan projek pengurusan fasiliti dengan baik, berkualiti, mengikut tempoh dan kos dan masa yang ditetapkan lah. Jadinya kajian ni tengah berlangsung sekarang pada tahun 2023 ni. Jadinya saya minta kerjasama tuan-tuan dan puan-puannya through Mafa Encik Shah untuk contribute sekali dengan kita, dengan CIDB. Yang mana kita nanti akan panggil lah, kita akan panggil bengkel, kita akan panggil seminar untuk kita berdialog, dapatkan input daripada industri, apa yang sepatutnya CIDB buat dan apa yang sepatutnya industri buat yang baik untuk industri FM lah. So sini juga saya ambil kesempatan, saya perkenalkan Dr. Khairuddin daripada Construction Research of Institute Malaysia. Dia akan act of sebagai sekretariat kepada CIDB untuk melaksanakan CFMP lah. Jadinya boleh bertukar-tukar kad nanti untuk kita berkenalan lah. Okay. Rasanya Dr. Din pun dah kenal lah semua orang ni. Okay. Saya rasa setakat itu saja pembentangan saya pada tengah hari ini. Jadinya ada apa-apa soalan yang boleh kemukakan? Dah sampai pengakhiran dah sebenarnya. Kalau tak tadi lagi lama sebenarnya.
Assalamualaikum.
Saya dah potong banyak. Ya, Cik Amir.
Ada sikit soalan.
Soalan ditutup.
Boleh tak buka slide yang nombor 2 saya rasa, yang ada banyak apa tu bahagian-bahagian daripada perancangan, pembinaan kan. Slide nombor 2 saja.
Ni.
Lagi yang ada 4 segmen sampai perubahan tu, ada 4 proses life cycle lah.
Okay.
Kan. Okey, saya nak menarik sikit perhatian lah. Ini CFMB ni apa, konsultan
Civil Mechanical Electrical
Consultant kan?
Consultant, ya betul.
Pada pendapat saya, bersetuju tak kalau saya kata apa ni, kalau kita tengok apa ni kira proses ini dengan proses yang FM ni, beza kat sini adalah verifier.
Ya betul.
Kat sini verifier dia consultant, setuju tak? Sedangkan di sini pada masa sekarang lah, kalau kita ambil FFM 2016 JKR, verifier itu adalah kontraktor itu sendiri.
Ya betul.
Kan? Jadi sebab tidak ada lagi diwujudkan patutnya third party lah. Macam dalam construction kita dah ada dah, cantik dah konsultan. Jadi pada pendapat saya, verifier dalam ini sudah sampai masanya untuk kita look into that lah. Maksudnya wujudkan konsultan dalam FM juga ataupun third party lah. Okey lah, mungkin ada soalan siapa ni jadi konsultan. Pada saya lah, contoh saya ada satu jalangan. Pada saya QS adalah one of the organisation sedia ada yang dah bersedia dah to undertake verifier in FM. Daripada sekarang ni FFM 2016, apa ni, kontraktor lantik dia staff dia untuk verify kerja dia, dan memang obvious conflict of interest. Jadi cuma dia kata kalau QS dia construction, apa kata cadangan saya lah, kita buka lah pada QS company firm ni, ambil lah kursus FM macam kontraktor buat juga, lepas tu boleh jadi verifier untuk FM industry. Cadangan saya sajalah.
Okey. Okey, untuk jawab soalan Cik Amir tu, saya bukanlah orang yang sepatutnya menjawab. Okey. Cik Amir ingat tak bahawa kontrak konsesi kesihatan, kita ada satu company dipanggil Sihat. Dan siapa pernah ingat? Kan? Sekarang ni dah tak ada dah.
Ya, benar-benar. Sihat yang verify aja.
Ya, betul. Dan saya rasa itu bawah bidang superintending officer dan juga pemilik company, pemilik projek, yang mana pada masa tu kita remove Sihat, betul? Kita hire staff Sihat tu sebagai permanent permanent staff Kementerian Kesihatan. Kalau tak salah saya lah pada masa tersebut. Jadinya sepatutnya superintendent officer tu sendiri yang akan memantau. Cumanya diwujudkan satu position verify yang menjalankan on behalf of SO. Dia sama konsep macam safety officer lah, Cik Amir. Kan? Safety officer pun di-hire oleh company tu yang patutnya dia on behalf of DOS juga. Kan? Dalam masa sama dia menjaga interest syarikat tu. Walau bagaimanapun, kalau kata industri sahkan ataupun Cik Amir memberi pendapat patutnya adanya third party untuk buat kerja-kerja yang verification on site tu, saya mengalu-alukanlah Cik Amir untuk suarakan dalam pembikinan CFMP tu kan. Yang mana kita salah satu tujuannya kita boleh menasihatkan kerajaan persekutuan, menasihatkan apa yang terbaik. Tapi sama ada dilaksanakan oleh pihak klien ataupun SO, itu bukan bidang masalah.
Saya faham. Yang ini sebab CIDB dia ada dia punya scope. Macam even consultant ni dia berdaftar dengan MOF. Jadi cadangan saya mungkin sebab CIDB dia ada akses, ada platform dengan KKR dan kerajaan kan. Jadi kalau ada platform untuk dibincangkan, mungkin boleh dicadangkan kan, bahawa MOF tambahlah lagi satu kepala untuk FM consultant. Itu saja cadangan saya.
Baik. Akan dipertimbangkan untuk dimasukkan nanti. Okey. Okey, saya rasa setakat itu saja pembentangan saya. Saya mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada perhatian daripada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, dan saya akhiri presentation saya dengan wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Duduk atas stage sejuk lah. Ingatkan winter sonata kat sini. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the session. We thank you, the panelists, for agreeing to come on stage. We appreciate the fact that they spend their valuable time to prepare presentation and be ready to answer related questions. We have questions daripada kita punya virtual participants. Tapi because kita dah encroach into 1 o'clock, sekarang pun ada 1:04, 1:05 for our next event. Mr. Tamian, do we want to go with the question just now or kita wrap up masa? Only that one question. Okay. We have this one question. Saya minta any of the panelists boleh jawab because it's actually quite general in a sense. So soalan daripada Haji Fazli Solar Crest. So the question goes with a statement first. The issue of need on FM is not argued on its merit. The key issue that should be discussed is on the understanding of quality of FM work. From past pandemic experience we faced taught us that the complexity of balancing cost and expectation that resulted in the uncontrolled asset damage. What is the panelist view on this? So saya open on the panelist untuk jawab soalan ni. Okay. Mic ni.
Soalan ni tadi?
Soalannya a bit a bit complex, tapi the key issue that should be discussed is on the understanding on quality of FM work. From past pandemic experience we face taught us that the complexity of balancing cost and expectation that resulted in the uncontrolled asset damage. What is the panelist view on this?
Okay lah, I can answer from the point of view on the experience on managing the inventory of the assets, the situation before pandemics, during pandemics, and then after pandemics. Okay, so cost and expectation. Before pandemic, the expectation is not so much like after pandemic. Okay. So before pandemic, people doesn't know about their inventory. Okay. But during pandemic, they start to inventorize. So they start to inventorize, so they feel that they identified they got so much assets. So after pandemic, so they want to focus back their business. So the expectation are changed. So they are no longer talking about their maintaining the asset, but they are talking about, I want to get back a new business or business instead of looking their assets. So these are the experience that we are dealing with the client that have many assets around the country and around the Asia Pacific. During pandemic, they don't care about their inventory. I mean, before pandemic. During pandemic, they start to look on the inventory of assets. They said they want to manage, maintain, or maybe want to sell. But after pandemic, they don't care about the inventory, they don't care about the cost, but they're looking back to cover back the losses from the operation. So this is the expectation change. So it's what is my view is that the client are not maintaining their same expectation between these three era. So the expectation change, and this goes to the way they want to maintain the asset also change. If they keep on maintaining the expectation during pandemic, they want to know what is the asset, what is the value, and what is the program that they want to build. And after pandemic, they still remain focused on that. So they will get both the benefit. They will get both benefit. The new business or the rebuild back the business. In the same time, they know what is their asset situation, and then they can start to rehab and do the refurbishment works. So that's my view. Thank you.
Okay, Sharanon, any partners would like to add to that?
As mentioned rightly by Cik Sharanon, there are three eras that we pass through: before pandemic, during, and past. Now, my view in this is that, as I mentioned earlier in my response to a question just now, at the closing just now, it depends on the criticality of the asset. If the asset is a revenue generating asset, it must be the top most important in the list of the asset owner to upkeep and provide the necessary maintenance budget to ensure that all costs required to make full use of the asset available at all time important. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, let's take an example of our Bangunan Sultan Iskandar Johor, which is a little bit critical now. It has came out in the YouTube quite a number of times. Now, no one knew about this, because I was there personally with my company as a service provider right from the beginning. The asset is generating an income for the country at that point, 2007, 3.4 billion ringgit Malaysia, collecting custom levy, all these import, export, and transaction that goes through the building is generating a 3.4 billion ringgit Malaysia income. So imagine that kind of asset, if you leave it deteriorate, how will this impact on the income to the country? So it is only logical that we put enough effort and funding and support to make sure that the system in the buildings are all in place to deliver the necessary services. Of course, the people working in the building, they can deliver the work, but with the system that is not properly maintained or not in fully operational, that give a hindrance to the delivery of a good service. So as much as I can say is that it depends on, again, the asset that we have. There are certain assets, like what Cik Sharon mentioned rightly also, there are certain assets that after post-pandemic is no longer in use. We found out that work from home is effective, therefore we want to maintain work from home, then you can let go of those assets. So it's a mix of a lot of strategy that an organization would have to think about. How do we move on post-pandemic? As I said in my little discussion earlier this morning, post-pandemic has posted a new challenge in our life. It can be positive or negative depending on how we look at things and how do we mitigate. If it is negative, how do we mitigate? If it is positive, how we take opportunity of that positiveness to move forward. Yeah, so of course, people are more concerned about the business lah, kan, the revenue side. Kan, we have lost a 2-year period of business. How do we recover back? But of course, that is always also the lifeline of any business. You have to make sure that you have new business growth and things like that. There are also a lot of businesses close shop. Yeah, so we have to bear in mind organizations with physical assets, operating assets. They have to actually relook at the strategy of how they want to move forward. There are, as I mentioned just now, there are options. These are the options that they have to really think of how to move forward. Thank you.
Okay, Shasha. I think that's the only question yang ada daripada virtual participant kita. I think before the snow start falling on the stage, we should end this forum. And kita punya next agenda is di sambutan Hari Raya di tingkat 6, level 6 ya. So I invite all panelists and also participants, physical participant lah, virtual participant tak boleh nak jemput lah. Level 6 untuk kita punya jamuan raya. Terima kasih and let's tutup forum ni dan kita bergerak ke tingkat 6. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.